you're...
What is it?
It's just that you seem to me like a man who doesn't frighten easily. And I'm looking for someone like that. It's like this. I know of the whereabouts of some treasure. Well, treasure is a lofty word. Simply hidden valuables. And this information I can share with you for a certain price.
Sounds a little fishy to me. How do you know about it?
Well, it's a bit of a long story. My sister married a fellow from Colin, and he was a knacker, so there was hell to pay. Anyway, this fellow's sister... No, wait. That's not it. He was from Cuttenberg, not Colin. And he wasn't a knacker, but a bathhouse attendant.
All right, all right. I don't need to hear your family's entire history. I don't get it. Why don't you just get the treasure for yourself?
The thing is, it's a bit out of the way, and with all that's happening in the country, the roads ain't safe, never mind the forests. So I'd rather leave the joys of exploring to someone bolder than me.
I've no time for such tall tales.
Tall tales? Ha! Go to hell then, doubting Thomas.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
Can you tell me something about the other millers?
There's a couple of other fellows around here in my trade. Wojciech in Kohelnitz and Simon in Sasa.
Tell me about Wojciech.
He's young and hot-blooded with a short temper. But he's a fine fellow when you get to know him. His heart's in the right place, and he's always willing to lend a helping hand. Unfortunately, he got himself into a feud with that usurer, the merchant Wolfram Pruder. A slimy bastard he is. And now they're sworn enemies.
What about this Simon in Sasau?
An odd one he is. A loner who don't talk much. But he's as dogged as a hunting hound once he gets his teeth into anything. He won't let go until he sees it through, even if he has to walk over dead bodies.
I hear you're able to open locks without a key. Will you teach me how?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot?
Agreed. Now listen up.
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
Are you serious?
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
Well, what do you want?
I've heard there's a contest happening, and that the prize is a keg of fine wine.
That's true. I bought the finest wine to be had in the province.
I'd like to take part.
Do you know the rules?
I don't.
You shoot 7, 13, or 21 arrows, depending on who you're shooting against. The straw surround is worth 1 point, the white ring 2, and the bullseye 3. Whoever finishes shooting first gets 3 extra points. The round ends when everyone has finished shooting, and whoever has the most points wins. It's the custom to wager on it, to make it more interesting, see? The better archers you shoot against, the higher the stakes.
All right, that seems straightforward.
Just one more thing. Don't leave while the contest is underway, and never aim or shoot at anything but the target. Otherwise you're out. Got it?
Got it.
Splendid, here's some arrows for you. But you can use your own if you want. Meanwhile, I'll round up the competition.
I'm honored that you
I've heard...
Do you...
I do.
Jesus, what do you want from me now?
I'm honored that you should come to me.
Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. I can't wait to drink to it.
Yes, on the subject of drinking, I'm guessing you prefer beer to wine?
No, not really. I could drink beer in any tavern, but there's no wine as good as this one.
It's just that the wine you won, I need it.
Not a chance. I won it fairly.
You don't want to disappoint Lady Stephanie of Talmberg and her courier, do you?
Lady Stephanie, you say? I've always liked her ladyship. You know what, then? Take the keg. And please give her my respectful greetings. Jeez.
Ow! Watch where you're going, you lout! You nearly killed me!
That's the lot.
Thanks. Here's your change. I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
Can we do something about the price?
Well, we can try it.
Are we agreed?
Well now, a little more and we'll shake on it.
Very well, I agree.
What are you loitering here for? Get lost.
Have pity on me, a fool wretch. Sigismund and his murderers took everything I had.
Flour, eggs, salt, yeast. Let it bake What are you loitering here for? Get lost. You? Go away. I want nothing to do with you. You. Go away. I want nothing to do with you.
I'd like to order something here.
So what are you interested in?
Proper bath. And my clothes need washing.
But of course. Money first, though.
Fine. Here it is.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
Okay, this will be my last commentary. This video I'm not supposed to have it, but I wanted to share this. Your clothes get filthy in this game. The longer you let that filter build up, the less people want to talk to you. But I had to pay off a bounty. I stole from somebody in this area, so that's where that came from. But as you can see, I wash my clothes and they're clean. Now when your dude get blood and dirt on his skin, that's what the baths are for. So, like I said, the most realistic RPG ever made. Alright, back to the video.
Liquid, be a bit more careful.
What are you up to, poacher?
I wasn't hunting. That carcass was already lying there when I came.
Everyone knows you're a troublemaker.
People only say those things because they're jealous of how far I've come.
Yes, I know that myself. All right. I suppose you're not the guilty one after all.
I'm glad you saw sense. We'll just have to report it to someone. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it.
What?
Welcome, Henry. I'm glad you're here. God save. Can I help you with anything?
I've brought the roan, my lady.
That's wonderful. There weren't any problems with it, I hope.
Be careful. That horse is a wild one. He won't endure a rider. He kept throwing me.
Well, that won't do. Sophie can't have some wild horse at her wedding starting a stampede.
But I've learnt a trick. If you sing to him, he calms down.
You sang to a horse?
It's quite true, I'm afraid. I sang to a horse.
Well, then you'll have to sing something to me, too.
My lady, I don't know if I...
So I know how to calm down that roan. Go ahead, sing.
Two horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there. The first one is brown and the second is grey. Which shall I ride to, my maiden so fair?
Oh, how beautiful! I'm not surprised the horse calmed down after hearing such a lovely voice. Anyway, I'll think about what to do with the roan. But thank you, Henry.
I brought you the crown from the master engraver.
Henry, you are a gem. Look at that Moldavite. Isn't it wonderful? Sophie will look like an angel. So, what's next?
I brought the wine.
Wonderful, wonderful. No wedding is complete without good wine. Find somewhere here to put it down. I'll send for a servant to bring it later. I hope you had no problems acquiring it.
Let's just say that when I got to the merchant, my task had only just begun.
But you were able to handle it. Thank you so much, Henry.
What can I do for you, my lady?
Nothing. You've done enough. And now I'd like to reward you.
That's not necessary, my lady. You taking the time to see me is reward enough.
Come now, Henry. No need for such modesty. I appreciate everything you've done for me, as well as your company. And there's something I'd like to give you. This shirt was my father's. He was built very much like you. Broad shoulders, strong chest. It should fit you just right.
But I can't accept this. It's too valuable.
It's too valuable to be left to the mercy of moths. It doesn't fit my husband well, and I've no one else to give it to. What's more, if you were to leave us again, I'd like you to have something to remember me by, so you don't forget me.
I could never forget you, my lady.
Well then, won't you try it on at least?
What, right now?
Why not? Don't worry, I won't look. I'll turn my back.
And what if your husband comes in?
He won't. Neither will anyone else.
All right, then.
I feel truly blessed to have you here. So long I yearned for young company. I really feel God heard my prayers and sent you to me.
I'm ready.
My, you do look handsome. As fine as any gentleman. When I was a little girl, there were always lots of other children around and young men and women of the court. It was so merry. I always hoped it would be like that when I was grown up too. But it was not God's plan.
You and Sir Divish had no children?
No. No, alas, we were not blessed. Twice I was with child, but they did not live. And now I fear there's no hope for me.
My lady. Forgive me, my lady. We shouldn't have.
I don't mind.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
God save, my lord. I hope things are peaceful in your fiefdom.
Peace? Peace is rare in these times. But right now I'm more troubled by politics than warfare.
What's wrong?
The monastery stalled the purchase of stone and everything connected to the building project. And now I find out it's because of the quality of the stone blocks, or so they say. I don't believe a word of it. It looks like profiteering to me.
Profiteering? What's the monastery trying to accomplish?
To lower the price. What else? We've already given them a fair price, and they still delay with payment. Or worse.
Worse? You mean they'll stop paying completely?
You could put it that way. They're looking for an excuse to back out of the contract and find another quarry where they'll be able to secure a more favorable deal.
What do they say is wrong with the stone?
Supposedly, there was an accident when one of the stone blocks broke loose, fell, and killed someone. But the quarrymaster swears by all the saints it isn't possible. He says he sends only the best stone, and I believe him. He's reliable and an experienced quarryman.
And is anyone dealing with the problem?
Well, my chamberlain is in charge of it, as always. But all he's done is send them a letter. He says putting more pressure on the monastery could provoke them. Those are his words.
So there's nothing else that can be done?
I don't know. I've been thinking about taking a more direct approach. But I expect the chamberlain won't even hear of it. He'll just keep on sending them polite letters and hoping that does the trick.
I could help with this.
Do you think this is a job for you? You aren't even in my service.
I do serve Sir Radzig. He knows he can rely on me when he needs me, and I've never let him down.
This is true. So do you want to go to Sasau and ask about the stone?
Yes, I'll do it.
Good. I'd like you to ask about the stone and keep your ears open. See if they aren't talking about another quarry.
I'll do my best. Hopefully they'll talk to me.
They will. You ride in my name, so don't forget to remind them of it.
there someone here who trades in goods?
Try Vortimer. He's as thin as a starving hound, and about as cheerful, but he can get anything you want. I saw him by the local granary.
What are you doing here?
Why do you ask? Can I not take a walk in the woods without being accosted?
I ask because I'm the gamekeeper here, and it's my job to protect these woods from poachers.
Well, I'm certainly not poaching.
In that case, you won't mind if I have a look what you've got on you.
Certainly. Go ahead and look.
A walk in the woods, eh? No doubt. And what about this poached game? It's jail for you.
And what if I don't go?
Then I'll make you.
Try it.
Bloody hell. You call that combat? Here. Alle doppertele. Damn. Now. Jesus Christ! You're going to cry now? Kurwa! Sod it! I'm over here. Damn! Sod! Kurwa fix. Bollocks! I'll wring your neck, you cur.
Take your hardware and get the hell out of my sight.
All right. Thank you.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
What?
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Well, that depends.
You're alive. So you're doing well.
What's happening here? Oh my god. Philip and... they're all...
Yes? Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Rat Eye unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe, but convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Can I have a look at them myself? I know a little about healing.
Do you now? And what would you do if you burnt yourself at the forge?
First, you have to cool it down with water. Marigold ointment helps, and it's better if you don't bind it and let it breathe.
You do know what you're talking about. Looks like blacksmiths know about more than just pulling teeth.
Pulling teeth? Nothing to it. As long as you don't squeeze the pincers too hard and crush them.
Well, go and see if anyone needs anything. Just don't go pulling anyone's teeth.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. These wounds have been well taken care of. Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. Everything here is fine. Everything here is fine.
What are the...
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian could set on us.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium, anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
Everything here is fine.
Huh? Damn. Why are you waking me?
You look all right.
mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I've got bandages, so I can take care of it.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately, I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then.
Huh? Damn. Why are you waking me?
How are you feeling?
Good. It feels clean. Hope it helps.
It will. Tell them to rebandage you daily. You have the bandages here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Don't mention it.
Huh? Leave me be. I want to sleep.
I'm not needed here. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. And who are you?
Brother Elias.
What do you do here?
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back then.
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold a patient down or fetch and carry things.
Thank you. What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God! There has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
One of the sick men, Semek, is complaining about pain and the fact he can't work. He says he...
Semek? Is he one of our people?
No, he's a construction worker. He's bruised and confined to...
Henry, for God's sake! Our neighbours are dying here. Your friends! There isn't time to waste on some construction worker's bruises. Oh, honestly, what were you thinking?
Listen, all I need to find out is the name of a herb.
Then go and look it up in a book. You've got your own herbarium, haven't you?
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned...
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I... Are you holding him firmly?
Aye.
Done. Where? What's happening? I see you look much better.
No, I feel much better. Then I heard it was all down to you. Thank you. If you ever need to know about anything that's going on in Sasau, come and see me. There's nothing much happens here without my knowledge. Thomas is my name.
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly. The old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep. And sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
Of course, like the back of my hand.
You don't look the part, but if you say so. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
I see.
Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener. How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith. But I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
So you don't normally treat the wounded, then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this... I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful. after you and the dead and the wounded.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
Well, that's true. He comes to visit Johanka, but he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention.
Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm ashamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite un-Christian.
You're not the only one.
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics first?
Well, it's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
Not a leaf wasted.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
Were you satisfied with my weeding?
You said it was finished, but I took a look at it. Is that what you call a finished job? Try again and do better. That simply isn't good enough.
I've been sent here from Talmberg. I'm to speak with the one responsible for construction.
That'd be the master builder. Or with our brother, the overseer. What matter is it you're here about?
It has to do with the stone for construction.
Ah, then that's a matter of supply. You'll want to talk to the overseer. He knows more about that sort of thing. His study's right above us, more or less. Go up the steps to the left and then head back in this direction, almost the whole way.
How do I know which are the weeds?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle, and thistle look like.
How can I tell them apart?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle, and thistle look like.
Where is it they're not supposed to grow?
Between the mint and the eyebrights.
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
I may have picked a couple of the other plants by mistake.
If it's only a couple, there's no harm done. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
Were you satisfied with my weeding?
You said it was finished, but I took a look at it. Is that what you call a finished job? Off you go. I'd better do it myself.
I've got something for you.
Really?
Drink this, and you'll fall straight to sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, custodian?
What?
If you won't give the sick anything else, can you at least hold the banquet here?
Nobody's going to talk to me that way. Lock him up for the night and let him learn some manners.